So it's been a minute, and I was supposed to make a video last week, but life always has a way of life, and I've been traveling heavy this week. But I am currently walking through a neighborhood. I won't say which neighborhood, but where I've been staying for the past few days in Seattle, Washington. Yes, this little Louisiana girl is up in the Pacific Northwest, walking these hills and taking in this good nature. But yeah, I was thinking this morning and trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to talk about on this next video. And I sometimes don't have like this specific theme, but this morning while I was showering and getting ready and packing my bags and stuff because I am flying back to New Orleans, I just been reflecting on this week, which started out in Baltimore for a health justice conference, and then from Baltimore I flew straight to Seattle to come and do a Juneteenth celebration out here. And so it's crazy because in the midst of all of that, I am packing and moving out of my house in New Orleans, and to be honest, with no set plan to get a lease anywhere else in New Orleans. So the plan, which ain't really planned, but is moving by spirit more so than anything, is to travel. And I won't get into details about that, but that leads me into, I guess, what it was I kind of wanted to touch on, which is the idea of us thinking that we want these specific things. So we live in this world where we talk about manifestation now, and people just having this idea of exactly what they want. I want to manifest $20,000 and a husband or whatever, or a baby and a job that does this, this, and that, whatever, all these specific things, right? Not saying don't be specific in your prayers, but then I don't think this is the way we walked, but I'm taking a new route. But then you have this idea of I was listening to a podcast this morning. I don't want to misstate her name. I might put it in the descriptions, but she was talking about all these movies that we watch where every time the characters or the people have a specific dream or wish. I'm thinking about what was the name? Was it Bedazzled or something like that? Where the guy got the wishes from the devil, and each time he had a wish, like, it didn't turn out exactly the way he planned. It was always some little caveat, right? And I'm thinking about the way I have planned out my life at coming up on what my birth certificate says is my 46th birthday, and how nothing has looked anything like what I predicted or wanted, but how it's always turned out better when I just allow. And I think that just goes into that whole saying of, God's plans, or whatever you believe is God, universe, spirit, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into all that with folks. You believe what you want to believe, but whatever that bigger force is that is moving you through life, usually we think such on a small physical level of what we can see, but things are being orchestrated for us to have a greater experience. So I give the example again of this week. I was so nervous about traveling because, number one, I got to leave my little Pearl, my little dog, for a week, and being away from her is just like, it's like being away from your child. You're wondering if they're okay, and missing them, and all the emotional support that she provides for me, not just me taking care of her. And then on top of that, I was in the midst of moving, and I'm rushing to move and trying to get my things and get out of the house. And then in the midst of packing to move, I'm packing to travel for a whole week, making sure I have everything I need, making sure I'm prepared for the conference, prepared for the Juneteenth celebration, and also having to people with people who you don't people with all the time. So being prepared to just be social in that sense for somebody who can be a little antisocial, socialite, introverted as myself. So in all of that, I was like, just anxious a little bit. But once I got to Baltimore and settled in and just allowed myself to be present, that was my promise I made to myself, was to be completely present for the experience. And it resulted in making so many new friends and like having a different perspective just on the work I do. And beyond just the work I do, but because my work, in essence, I'm learning and finding out, is good morning. How are you?
Nice.
It's beautiful. Look, I'm enjoying y'all's weather here in Seattle. I got to go back to hot Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm visiting. Have a good one. I love, people are so nice and friendly here. She was talking about the weather. It's like, girl, this weather is perfect compared to what I gotta go back to. But yeah, my work I'm learning is the work on me, and also the houses here and the landscaping, all that is so amazing. And the more I align with and don't force a career path or what my artistry or my poetry or anything like that is going to look like, the more I am finding that my work then becomes me just being present, or me getting paid to bring me to the table, or me getting opportunities to be able to just bring me into a space or a room. And I don't know if that makes sense, if you got to be a woo-woo person like me to understand what that means. But I say that to say sometimes we get so caught up in this trajectory. And it's good to have goals of a career path, and we want it to look this way and it should feel this way, and I want to make X amount of dollars and have this particular experience. And sometimes we can be so particular that we particular rate, I'm making the words now, we particular rate ourselves out of an experience that could be bigger than what we could even imagine. And so I found that in this past week, like in Baltimore, I had beautiful experiences. Like in every city I go to, I'm going to find my New Orleans people. I'm going to find my Louisiana people. So I hooked up with a homeboy, and like we went out and we couldn't find anything to do in Baltimore. So we just ended up in this hole in the wall little bar room, and met these older people, had some good drinks, listened to some good music, and got invited to come back by this older gentleman named Mr. Melvin. And that was something we couldn't have planned, like experiencing something that felt like it could have very well been right in New Orleans, in Baltimore, because we didn't have a plan. We gonna go out and go find something to do. Also, we were staying by the harbor, and me and some friends, like after one of the last sessions, we were like, let's just go walk on the harbor, and just the people we met, the conversations that we as three black women got to have walking on the harbor, and going to get some ice cream. I ain't supposed to have no dairy, but I did have some ice cream that day because I allowed myself to operate outside of my own plans, right? But the joy and we had such, I can't even describe in words, but the connection and the conversation we were able to have just from we didn't plan that. We didn't say after this session we're going to go walk on the harbor and get ice cream. We just were moving in the spirit, as the old people say, and allowing spirit to move how spirit moves. And that thing can always be contained in the confinement of our own limited beliefs, limited experiences even. Because how you going to experience something you ain't never experienced before? You got to be open to experiencing something new. I don't know if that made sense. I'm not high or drunk or anything, having these high thoughts. But yeah, so fast forward then to leaving Baltimore, I was like, oh man, I was around all my black people in Baltimore. I gotta go to Seattle, which is a little less pigmented. But then I got here and I'm like, I was hosted by a friend who I met last year at another conference, and her family, and they're indigenous, and just being able to connect on that, being from Louisiana and knowing my own family's history, to just like how they've loved and cared on me. It could have been planned where I'm at a hotel, I got a set schedule, all the things, but the people who brought me out here made it so I could come and have extra days to like explore the city and to spend time with folks. And I got to go hang out with, after I did the Juneteenth celebration, I linked up with two, not one, but two of my homeboys from New Orleans. One was DJing a Afro house set, and I got to go sneak up on him and like dance and meet some folks. Then after that, another one of my friends, good morning, how are y'all? Another one of my friends from New Orleans, he and his girlfriend came by to pick me up so I could go to the next spot and spend some time with them. And I was able to introduce my two homies who didn't know each other from New Orleans. So now they're friends. I couldn't have planned that any better. So I say all that to say. And then I'm just going to keep going because it's been such a week, right? Yesterday, the family I'm with, they planned a boat ride, an electric boat ride on Lake Washington, I think. That's the lake, the body of water we were on. But they took me downtown to like the pier and all of that, Pikes Peak, during the World Cup. So I got to see all these people from everywhere. Like, it's just been I say all that to say it's been a week where I was anxious about what it was going to look like. But when I surrendered to the possibility of what it could be, what it ended up looking like was far beyond my anxiety, far beyond how much I may have tried to plan it, far beyond all of that. And so, yeah, I think that's my message for today is like, and I'm taking that into this next stage of whatever life is supposed to look like for me, as far as leaving, moving out of my house, moving away from New Orleans. Of course, I'm going to be prepared because I was prepared for this trip. I had packed more than enough clothes, probably too many clothes, but I had everything I needed. And as long as I made sure I had my basics of what I needed, everything else was provided for me. And so I think that's the goal, is like, I'm going to make sure I have everything I need going into this next chapter of my journey. But I'm not gonna be so hell-bent on the details of, baby, I'm getting winded out here, y'all can't hear. Seattle streets, elevation, is the street through this, and then it'll come right back up to this. But I'm gonna make sure I have everything I need, basics, but I'm gonna be open to people too. Sometimes we can be so fearful. I was raised in a lot of fear, not trusting people, especially not trusting myself. I made some crazy decisions that I can't go back and undo, that I don't necessarily regret because of the lesson learned from them, but that I made. I had a whole epiphany yesterday on Father's Day, laying in the bed, of like a huge decision I made, one of many, that was literally out of me being afraid. And not even being afraid of the situation itself or the circumstance, but being afraid of somebody and what they were going to think or say. And so, yeah, I'm taking this little solo walk around the neighborhood. My friend who's housing me was like, do you want me to come on a walk with you? And I didn't want to say I'm coming to make a video, but I was like, nah, I just kind of, look how pretty. I was like, nah, I just want to walk and gather my thoughts, because this is again, the last day of this trip. I fly out in a couple of hours. I have to go to the airport in a couple of hours. And just, yeah, I've been coming up with so many ideas now too, excuse me, that I now have the courage to make reality. I don't even want to say execute because I'm not killing it, but to get done. Is that the base word or the meaning of the word execute? I just don't like what it sounds like or what it means in other contexts, but I have the confidence now because of this trip and because of how much I trust myself now to go, and I'm just walking, y'all. I don't even know if I'm going the right way. Yeah, I have the confidence to do those things, and I'm excited to do it now because I'm like, ooh, if this is how good it could get, and I wish I could really describe to y'all how good this week has been, like even down to being paid beautifully to not even work hard, because I don't think any of the work I had to do this week was hard outside of packing and just saying yes and coming. And everything else was given to me by spirit. What to say, what to wear even, how to show up. Is this little crow's leg hurt? His little leg is hurt. He's like limping. I don't know if y'all can see the, is it? He's like limping around. Hey, little baby. Yeah, he's hopping on one leg. He's got a hurt little claw. Oh, but that's all. Baby, maybe sometimes the woo-woo people just be finding epiphany in everything. But even with his little hurt claw, I feel like he could still fly. He's strutting too. But he's looking for his little food still. And he's still moving. He ain't let that little hurt claw. So whatever disappointments, whatever little pain or whatever, it's not saying don't acknowledge your pain or don't acknowledge your disappointments, but it is saying move past it, keep on moving, just take one little step at a time. And he's so cute, but I hope he's not in pain. Something about animals. After having Pearl, I can't stand to see an animal like not be treated well or be in pain or any of that. But yeah, okay, I'm at almost 20 minutes, so I think that's the life lesson. And I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my walk and pray I recognize how to get back to this house. I will check in, and I said this channel is called Poem-versations. So I need to, I would like to share a poem, I guess, as the next video. We'll have a poem and a talk. But this video, or this channel, is more so for me. It's not even about viewership, which is cool. But I said it's going to be an unedited, raw situation where I'm just sharing my thoughts, and it's almost even like a video journal for myself to come back and watch. And if other people can glean some wisdom or some little nuggets or some little information from it, then that's a plus too. But if not, then it's here for me. And I know in the last video I was like, I'm showing up raw. I'm not wearing no makeup. I'm not doing, and I also said I will if I want to. And today I was feeling extra cute and spiffy and about to go to the airport and just feeling, so I did put me on a little bronzer and a little brow and a little lip gloss. But yeah, I don't feel enslaved to anything or like I gotta do what I don't want to do. I got a little fly situation on, a little comfy for travel. I don't know where I'm going. I feel like I'm on a whole other side of the universe. Oh, I think I know where I'm going. Okay. Yeah, because I've been paying attention. All right, y'all. And I got on my green, as always. I got on 2 different shades of green. But that's okay, because I could do that. Because who made the rules? Green for the heart space. Because that's been the work I've been doing, baby. And for the prosperity. Because I would like that mignon as well. That mignon, as the young people say. All right, I'm signing out on this particular video. I'm about to focus on my breathing. Yes. Y'all have a blessed one. I met this man on my walk the other day, and I'm going to leave y'all with this nugget. He said, if you can't behave, at least have fun. Or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But he said, if you can't behave, at least have fun. So if you don't feel like following the rules, at least let this life be what you want it to be. And that's where I'm at with it. All right, laters. I thought I had a little good sign out. I'm gonna have to figure out something that I do that's a signature, whatever. Oh yeah, here's my indigenous art. This is made by an artist in New Mexico. There's a shop, a little boutique that they take me to when I come out here that sells all this, and I wanted to represent with my little indigenous art, and of course, my Virgo, always representing. All right, I'm out. Be good at it. Later.